Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where sometimes it feels like the more things change, the more things stay the same, eh? As we continue our eternal quest to make 60 nuclear pasta per minute, which as you're all well aware is gonna need a lot of copper ingots. And after harvesting biome after biome, we have now collected all of the scavengers and brought them back to base. After wrangling it all up, we are once again gonna sacrifice another biome to Armageddon. And today it is a beautiful pit over by the green fields here. This is probably gonna be our most fun refinery project yet. I'm actually kind of excited because we're gonna be getting a huge chunk of the project done here. Also, I have cool plans to make things look awesome. Big thing is though, we need to make 24,000 copper ingots, which is 256 refineries, I'm pretty sure. Each of them fully overclocked can make that many ingots, so yeah, a lot of refineries. And after paving this whole biome, there is one problem we could have that would interrupt my plans. And that is that the pit is too small. We need to build 256 refineries, like, oh my gosh. Is this enough space? Well, let's, I guess, find out. And the plan is, we're gonna build the main, chunk of refineries just down through the middle here. But then along the edges of this pit, I wanna definitely include, some haphazard blueprints just out and around to make things look cool. The main thing is, it'd be super not cool if we can't fit in all the refineries. And if that happens, I legitimately don't know. Ask future Kibs. But most of you know the deal at this point. We have a bunch of pure copper lines coming down into the pit, 8 to be specific, and we split that into 2 rows of 16 refineries. And each refinery needs 37.5 copper ore and 25 water, and 16 times 37.5 is 600. So we'll make our 2 rows of 16 back to back, plug in a belt, and off we go. Okay, but for real, we are not just gonna fly around with our little jetpack here. No. Usually I try to get rid of them all, but most of the time when I'm doing projects like this, especially when I was setting all this area up, I spam so many power lines so I can use a hover pack, which is so much more convenient. And also, if you ever download this world off of Patreon, you're gonna find hypertube cannons everywhere, dude. I use mini versions just all over, with little bits of concrete, usually in the right place, that bonk me in the right direction. Because peasant trotting in projects of this scale just won't cut it, bud. Again, nor will puttering around. So get over here and let's spam. And now the real game begins. The game of refineries. I'm hoping we can at least fit a little over half of all the refineries just in the middle here. If that doesn't happen, we're so screwed. I'm gonna be honest, we are so screwed. And you know, I really don't actually make plans that far out. I know the math for this project, I know generally what we're doing, but if things derail that hard, it's just over, Chief. But anything can be done with a positive mental attitude. Am I right? Or am I right? And you know what? I was gonna boop in a bit here saying, oh, but I don't know, but it worked out. I managed to fit 256 refineries in here. It's crazy. I honestly didn't think it would work. I set up these 2 rows and I was like, there's just no way. But we were able to fit in exactly 256 refineries across all the shelves and all over the place. Does it look good? Not at all. Will it look good? Maybe. The main thing is we can get this project done. I'm so happy. I was so scared. Every little scrap, every little inch had to be fought over. I was even left with some room to spare. We could easily have put in 2 blueprints in this corner, and now we don't have to. And now we even have space for cool aesthetic things later on. And as I was nervously and painstakingly putting down all the refineries, I realized that we could actually add in a train station, and then we can ship all of the copper powder over to the nuclear pasta area over here later on. Won't that maybe be kind of cool? And if that doesn't work, Giant Belt Highway is right next door, so hey, it'll happen one way or another. And on the topic of planning, we're gonna be making lots of ingots, right? So I've left a bit of a logistics lane right in here just where we have all of the copper going down. So the copper will flow in this way, and we'll replace the belts with the copper ingot belts, and everything will end up kind of over here, where I'm thinking we'll have that train station, and then all of the constructors to make the copper powder. Because remember, copper powder is the name of the game. And for the copper powder, we're gonna be making belts of 750 copper ingots per minute, each going to their own constructor to make a bunch of powder. And crazy enough, but 24,000 divided by 750 actually works out. 32 belts. Not bad. But what is bad is we have to roll the dice yet again. Now, hopefully I didn't use up all of my luck here with the refineries, because although they all fit in, we also need a little bit of water. We have 256. Each of them needs 25 water each, so we need 6,400 water per minute. And that is gonna be about 22 water extractors. And 22 water extractors? Yeah, we could absolutely fit them in here. Except, last time, past Kibs was like, oh my gosh, future Kibs would so want a lot of water up at the top of our base for later on when we deal with like Sam or stuff. So we have to also transport another 12 full pipelines up that way, which is another 7,200 water, which ends up being quite a bit of SIP for the project. And the numbers are starting to get a little bit more tight on the water extractor front here, but it'll be fine. Look, I'll be honest, I'm still kind of riding the highs of last time. We're doing a bunch of like copper wrangling and just everything happened to work out. And if I just keep thinking that things will keep working out, they totally will, for real, for real. But oh my gosh, the water extractors don't align with the foundations. It's the end of the world. Great, fantastic. Totally should have maybe planned around that one. However, there is a workaround for this kind of scenario. See, what I'm talking about is I want to have a pipeline that goes in between the water extractors, right? You can see that if we try and build a pipeline in between these two extractors, it's going to look all wonky. And I don't want them to look all wonky. So what you can do is you can actually align water extractors on foundations that are just beneath the water surface here. Okay, enough. No, I'm drowning. As I was saying, you can actually build these foundations just beneath the water surface, and then it allows you to build a water extractor, but also on a grid. So now this is aligned with all of our platforms, and they're able to sit pretty nice and centered, and everything's fine. Plus, you can hold control, and if the extractors aren't being finicky, you can press H, and then you can build them all in a nice straight row. No problem at all. And you know what? If I optimize the space a little bit better, this is looking promising. How many is this? This is looking like 6. We need 46. Okay, maybe we'll be cutting it a little close. But no matter what, at least it'll look pretty. Or sorry, pretty isn't the right word. It's gorgeous. We got so many water extractors in here. But the question is, can you count quick? Is this enough? Do we have our 46-ish in place? Spoilers, yes we do. We got like 55. Yep, we got all the water extractors in here. We fit all the refineries. And now it's freaking go time, brother. We got practically infinite power from our nuclear power plant, so we can just mess around with pipes and pumps and whatever and make this work. Okay, so first things first, the water up this way in giant stacks. And what I've done with the power, at least, is I brought that down this way, goes on these beams, and that just powers up all of these. And then in between, we have these weird contraptions. And these weird contraptions are, I don't know, I call them scorpions. And they just kind of bring the water up a level, so the pipes are a little bit easier to organize, because I realized there really isn't a lot of wiggle room around these parts. But this should be fine. And up this way now, just need a landing space for them. We'll put down one foundation there. We're gonna nudge in another to about right there, and then have a bunch of pipe floor holes for all of the pipes to eventually get to. Oh, maybe we nudge that a little bit further out. Much better. So then at the end of the day here, we'll have our stack of 6 over this way. And we're not gonna build on the ground because, oh my goodness, is this place gonna go crazy with all the pipes and belts and everything everywhere. So I usually like to leave like the walking surface kind of available for me to scoot or to bring like an emergency pipe over and around. And then down this way, it's gonna be a bit of an order of operations where these pipes will hit the first row, then the next couple extractors will go and follow suit. This one will go off to the left, the next one will go off to the right, and then the other water extractor pipes will just have to go over top of the other pipes. And for this row in particular, since there's not actually 6, there's 5, I suppose things will end up looking like this, with all of the pipelines stacked on top of each other. And then we just do that a couple times. Which brings us to the point I like to call survival mode, where we have organized and built everything to spec, except now we have to make it work. And there's not a lot of space. There's a lot of pipes here. A lot of pipes that need to go all over the freaking place. And not to mention the belts. Again, 32 belts of copper ingots. We already have the 8 belts of pure copper ore. Like, it's... yeah, it's gonna go crazy. Even organizing some of the pipes just to get them into, like, nice spaces. It's difficult. But it's done, and some of the easy pipes have been hooked up as well. Like, just from over here to over there. Goes through a row of 16. GG easy. Each of these rows of refineries just takes up 400 water per minute, which means the other one across from it takes up 400 water per minute. At the end of this row of 32, we should be left with 400 water per minute right at the end of the line here. So I just have some valves and like a merger, and then we can send this into another set of 32. Now, I'm doing this knowing kind of in my head that I know this isn't gonna work. I know it. I have learned a lot about pipes. And in situations like these where you think things are gonna work out fine, you're gonna have a vehicle deadlock. No, something goofy is gonna happen. I can feel it in my bones. But logically, it makes sense. We'll have 200 extra water here. We'll have 200 extra water here. This system needs 400 water, and then we'll put like a little bouffard at the end, and like, I just know it won't work. I know it. We'll leave it for now though, in the crazy assumption that it will work. And we'll keep kind of working through some of like the easier parts of the pipe project here. Like bring pipes over to, I don't know, close by places before we deal with the shenanigans that are out and about. In that vein, I changed my mind actually. We're gonna deal with shenanigans right now. You see these couple guys over there? Well, I'm thinking we'll bring a pipe along this wall, right? And then up to all of those refineries. How many are there? 8, 16, so that's just 400? Sure. We have this one pipe that's sticking up top here, so you know what? We'll just bring it over. I just want to do this real quick because besides my typical order of operations, I do obligate myself to play by the rule of cool. Like, why build anything if it's not gonna look cool? Am I right or am I right? And we got to have something that breaks up all the concrete here. They're gonna have a big stack of pipes over there. We gotta at least have like one pipe that's running its way down this way. Is it efficient? Does it really make sense? No. It will, in fact, look cool. I've cast the dies of fate, and upon close inspection, they tell me that this will be totally gnar. Oh god, it would have been if this was like one tile lower. Oh man, are you for real? Like if we just had this like down here, do I rebuild the whole pipe? Of course we move the whole pipe. It is fun to say that you play by the rule of cool, but sometimes it can be a little inconvenient. But at the end of the day, it's always worth it. Especially for me, because I'm a YouTuber and I need to make my YouTube thumbnails, and if things don't look good, I can't make a good thumbnail, and then I'm screwed. Or at least that's what most creators say. That's at least what I would have said before, but thanks to you guys supporting me over on Patreon, things are a little bit more forgiving. But that doesn't mean we're not gonna make this place look exquisite. And also, I'm kind of just a pretty particular guy. Moving on though. Now that we have that wall all looking pretty, let's build the pipe stack up this way and have it looking pretty too. Somehow at least. It's 12 pipes. So what are we gonna have to do? Like make a stack of 12 pipes like right here? Seriously? trying to think of like literally any other option. Like, could we run more pipes along the wall? No, it doesn't really make sense. Like, we'd have all these pipes go head this way, stack up, head this way, yeah. No, this is the way it'll be. Definitely fills up the wall. It's gonna be a heck of a lot of pipes. We'll just go to horizontal, shoot on up, add in a couple pumps here and there, and it'll be good to go. Then over this way, just gotta make sure the curve looks good. So this will have to hit this wall. I don't want this entire shelf going out all the way here. Have things look something like that. As for these, we could use a half foundation just against the wall, but it just doesn't go out far enough. You kind of see, are you seeing what I'm saying? Like, we could have this here, but then like half the pipe will be like over the side. This is why I've actually switched to like just nudging these into the wall. You have so much concrete to work with. Why not just do a little bit of nudging? It'll be fine. In fact, all that will be fine. We'll revisit that in this moment after we figure out this. 12 pipes in one stack, eh? How do we possibly go about this? Number one, I just know you're gonna be in the way here, Billy. So you're just gonna go somewhere else. This pipe, I don't know, we'll go like this way. Sure, it'll clip for now, but I can like redecorate it in a moment. The main thing is we just need to clear the way so these pipes can go to where they need to live. So this will be here, chillin'. Go to the furthest pipe, use straight build mode. That's all good. Because we know we're gonna be bringing more pipes over from like the other stacks over that way, we'll actually have this pipe go to there. And then we'll have another 3 pipes that comes from, oh, it's 4 pipes at the next set. And this is where the stack gets really weird. We have 2 options, uppies or panic. Or this could actually head down now, and we could just have that go towards that one system we disconnected over this way. Like, why not? Kind of maybe makes sense. And the next few, scoot over here, and at the end of the line, you will have to rise up, brother, to the top of the stack, so that when we get the next set of pipes, things don't get ultra spaghetti. And you know what? Not bad at all. In fact, this is great. It turned out way better than I expected. I thought we'd already be in like spaghetti mode by this point, but no, that's great. So pipes over there, dealt with. Pipes to some of the starter systems here, dealt with. And now we have to start bringing the stacks into the back lines here. How many systems need a pipe? 4, 8, 16, that's 400. Then I combine that together. And then if there's 2 600 pipes going into that, that means there's going to be 800 water actually going through this pipe over to this system. Do I care to change it? I don't think so. We're gonna leave it, call it a day. At the end of the day, we actually have 10 more water extractors than we need for this whole project. So if we just have to bring like an extra pipe over to somewhere, like whatever. Okay, so let's start counting some of the systems. This 1, 2, 3, this is good, this is good. Then these middle ones are kind of just weird and oriented in like a different direction because of space limitations. Again, just how to make it work. So we'll probably set that up last. Then we have another set of 8 here, and another set of 16 up that way. Wait. What about this side? Oh, I actually set this up. Because we had some refineries down this way, I just brought that pipe over to this set, right? And I was like, well, I may as well bring the pipe up and through the whole system. So it goes through all here, turns out and around, moves some refineries out underneath the cliff. Ignore the clipping, it doesn't exist. Just because I didn't want to have 2 more refineries way close to these stairs. I thought that would look kind of weird. But no, the water distributes between, I think this is another 16. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20? Wait a second, 25 times 20? It's 500. Oh, so 1 600 pipe can actually handle all this. We'll waste like 100 water, but you know, don't care. No, that's all fine. Also with the clipping over here, I kind of lied, I kind of do care. We'll have like a huge decorative phase once all the belt work and the pipe work's done and like the whole system's running. And maybe at that point we could do something spooky with metal pillars. Like we just nudge these into the cliffside, and instead of having smokestacks in the back here, it could be like huge cave supports or something. I don't know, we have options is the main thing. And also, we don't have to move that many pipes. Again, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 systems. That's 6 pipes. How many pipes do we have at the end of the stack here? It's looking like 7. So an extra whole pipe. Ready for adventure. Yippee! Okay then, Billy. Head on down this way. Head on down that way. And we can bring all of your friends along if you would behave as well. Yeah, we can stack like 6 pipes there. Probably no problem. And then earlier on, I was talking about all of the belt work we're gonna soon have to do. And this is the main belt line, where again, we're gonna have all the copper scooting on this way, and then replace all of the copper lines as they're used in systems with copper ingot lines. They'll all go down this logistics path out towards a wee little personal elevator, and then probably out this way towards this waterfall, so that all of the belts of copper ingots can just go up the side of what will be a building here, and then into constructors. And wait! One last very critical thing I need to mention. I am working on the pipe stuff first, because the pipes like to be finicky little rascals, okay? The belts, they behave well. So if you're building giant factories, work out the pipe stuff first, make sure the pipes actually have room and space, and then deal with all the belt stuff. Yeah, it's a good order of operations, and also it just keeps you sane for these kinds of crazy projects. What's kind of freaking me out a little bit though is how smoothly things have gone. Like, I've hooked up the pipes into the middle systems here as well now, so all of the pipe work is done, all the machines fit, and now we just have the belt work, which is, generally speaking, the easiest part. Remember, you can do whatever you want with belts, right? Like, you can just go up, over. They're so malleable, so they're usually not a whole big to-do. We'll see, though. Maybe I'll run out of space. Maybe putting 32 belts of copper onto one tile is a little excessive. Nah, no way, right? Like, how many belts would this be? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Oh. Now, if we have a belt stack of copper ingots that tall, that's not gonna look super aesthetically pleasing. So it seems we have run into our first actual problem today. Wow. Or maybe we haven't. So all the belts will come in through here, right? And then for the output belts, like, we don't have to bring them back to this one tile. Technically speaking, these are all rows of refineries. So instead, underneath here, we have all these mergers set up as part of the blueprints. And the mergers might already be faced in the other direction. They are. So then if all of the copper ingots are already facing in this direction, and I've left so much room on like the bottom tiles here, we could just bring a bunch of the belts over this way, above the pipes, over to here, and then up to the control building, and maybe things could work out. Okay, the hope back on the menu. Back at 100% confidence in my abilities to work on this project. It'll be fine, for real, for real. Let's just deal with the inputs then. So some of the inputs, I suppose we'll have to go over this way. We have the bunch of refineries on the cliff here. Again, it's 20, which is kind of weird. But then we have a bunch over there. So that's 28, and then that would be 32? Yes. There's 16 down here. 16 there, no. That little pocket's gonna be weird. Main thing is though, all of these refineries though, just need one pure belt of copper from the great stack. So bring that on over. And then just to get some belts out of the way, we'll probably bring a couple more stacks over as well. Like, let's just have this over here. Pretend we have a belt there, and we'll go forward towards this ramp. Oh, we could maybe possibly do something really cool with this ramp. Oh, I think we can absolutely possibly, for real, actually do something cool with this ramp. Nice thing about ramps is that the belts can go up slopes as well, and if we get the height just right, oh, this can look so good once it loads. Wow. We'll have them red for now, but we'll probably make them like copper or something later on when we detail. But if we have one belt like that, we could force another belt up that way too. No. We could force copper belts down this way. But then, yeah, it'll just make the stack over here too tall. But this will look so cool if we have like the one input belt and the two output belts. Ooh, the struggle of the ages. And you know what we gots to do? This gots to be an output. We'll make it work. It'll look so cool that we gotta make it happen. And then back to actual functionality stuff. This will have to go to here, and we'll split things up through A and B, make it look a little bit more organized later on, and also deal with all of the belt work underneath here later on. Although these are blueprints, I didn't auto-connect all of them because I knew things would get weird at some point, and, well, This is that point. Next, you uppies, on your grand adventure, you just have to continue to distribute the ore through all the different systems. And ideally, we'll have some walking areas. Like wherever we have stairs, I'd like to have some like walking paths available. Maybe we can decorate them. Maybe we can like have like some main power poles there. I don't know, future Kibitz decisions to make. Just want to leave them a lot of options. And if we continue along the route we are going, we'll be able to do anything. Now that scoots over this way. Over to the other system. Off it goes. And then up the wall over this way, right beside where we have some of the pumps. Sure. In fact, where's the belt need to go? Here. So you can go there. Scoot you on down, bud. And you know what? This doesn't seem like it's gonna be too bad. That's the first belt set up pretty much. Off it will go. Quick thing we gotta figure out is back at the main stack here, is the grid for all of this stuff is on a different grid than our factory. But nowadays we have curved belt build mode, which makes a lot of these issues trivial. So we just bring this down a little bit, switch over to curved belt build mode, scoot on down. And if the spacing is all right, we'll have a perfect curve and everything's fine. Bro, dude, I love freaking quality of life features. Very good. Since the general idea was fine, moved forward and made the proper design here. Just had to change some elevation and heights so we could work with our cool ramp little focus here. And also distribute things properly, because there's quite a few belts here and they need to go up, down, moving all around, and it's a bit of a whole thing. But it was an easy thing. Not a problem at all. All the belt work underneath a lot of the machines is done as well. Nothing is all that complicated, to be honest. We have our big rows of 16 refineries, right? That produces 1,500 copper ingots. So underneath, I just divide the rows into 2 sets of mergers. So we have belts of 750, and those 750 belts all skewed up and will end up over there, each at their own dedicated, fully overclocked copper powder constructor. Wowie wow wow. Easy peasy. Now we just have to start stacking. So everything is brought to here. And I think the first sets of belts are these ones. I've inconvenienced myself by bringing them this way, but look, it's so cool. Got to do it somehow. Wait a second. This goes forward, so there's belts everywhere. But we're kind of at the end of the line, so we could just change the plan. Instead of being at that height, please just hit the ground and be fine. It's so fine. Awesome. Hit the ground, scoot that way, scoot over this way, and then uppies. Onto the great stack, or what will be the great stack. All the belts have been brought over, ready to be stacked up and organized. And in the same way as we organized all of the pipes, I will start low, and as the lanes get filled up, we'll build higher and higher and higher and higher until everything is stacked up and ready to go to the final stage of processing. In this big old stack of belts. Isn't it beautiful? And aren't I glad I left so much space? You're right, Kibs. You did leave enough space for this, and you are very smart. Thank you, Kibitz. I'm glad we're working together well on this one. And you know what? I'd say we really are. Everything didn't stack up as high as I thought it would. I redirected a bunch of those belts over that way, right? And with a bunch of them over there, this stack isn't too crazy. Like, the main thing is, it's about at the same height as the refineries behind it. And I think it still looks fine. It's fine. I didn't build on like the level here because I was thinking now about walking paths and decorations, because at this point, oh my gosh, we have 24,000 copper ingots right here. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's gonna be a lot of copper powder. Fantastic. And you know, this wasn't too bad. I think it's just because of our palette we're able to paint on. This area has been really, really fun to work with. And we kinda got lucky with everything just happening to work out. But now on to the final step. We are gonna bring all of these belts all the way up this way on top of these refineries and deal with the control roomy stuff. So we'll just build a platform right over top of the other refineries and we'll see how much space we got to work with here. Oh my gosh. Especially when we start working with like constructors. Bro, there's so much more chill. Okay, you know what, if that's the case, could we get away with like an extra floor in here? Dream world is, I'd love for all of those copper belts to come through this like control building-y thing and then go through throughput monitors. Like we have these wonderful conveyor throughput monitors, right? And if we could set the 32 of them up, we can see if any of the systems aren't working optimally. Also, it would look really, really cool. Yeah, we're gonna try it. Probably a bad idea, but come on, everything's been working out. It's not like things will suddenly all go wrong at the end of the line. Oh wait, I wanted to make this actually metal texture. Whoops. And holy lag, bruh. I've only been playing for 1,000 hours game. Don't give up on me yet. Before we derail any further, let's quickly look into that train situation. Don't want to have like a big belt like elevator thing. That will then just block off our train plans. Then we couldn't go true, and then we're doomed. No, let's build the trains out a little out this way, sure, and see how many freight cars we can build. Realistically, we only need 4. Like, I think the throughput's gonna be fine. Again, we're only bringing the copper powder from where we're at to right over there. So yeah, we'll be easily able to bring 4,000 items per minute that way. And it looks like we have 6 freight cars, maybe 7. Actually, you know what? I don't 100% know how this train's gonna work. Like functionally. I'm thinking we'll just have like a train that goes back and forth on a single rail. Does that mean we have to have a train station on like this end and the other end? Man, it's been so long since I set something like this up. This is kind of strange. A problem for near future Kibs. Main thing is I just want that in place, so now we know where to bring up the item elevators. We'll have 2 here, or really here and there. I almost forgot about these silly refineries that caused me a huge headache. Had to bring a whole extra belt all the way up here and do all these shenanigans and then work on more curves, and it's just a whole thing. So then, yeah, 2 elevators there, that's 18 belts, and then the rest of the belts will be on a 3rd elevator. And because of the wonderful infinite conveyor lift trick, you don't need to worry about any height nonsense either. Just build a floor hole at the destination, floor hole at the beginning, and if you look from the beginning or the end, all the way up to your destination, or at least where it's supposed to be, the conveyor lift snaps to infinite height, and wow, 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 isn't that so clean? It's probably been a dozen times I've shown that in this Let's Play, but you know what? It's so cool. The people gotta know. And once everything's actually moving and grooving, it'll look even better. But to get things moving and grooving, I first organized all the stuff up here, and then I started on the train track. I realized that we're gonna make this all into copper powder, and then we're gonna have to set up a awesome sink to dump the copper powder so that our 24,000 ingots here are consistently recycled, and we can actually see what works and what doesn't. So my order of operations was to get a train set up, and the plan ended up being a little bit weird. We have the train go over this way, over the little lake, through the cliffs and all this weirdness, and then over to this project area. Where initially I was just like, why don't I connect the train up to the main track? And I realized the main track is gonna have trains from all over the world bringing in tons and tons of copper powder. So why clog up the line, right? And also I think it'll just look better, because at the end of the day, we'll have all the copper powder trains coming in here, turning over this way, dropping off the goods, and then heading back out. But now we could have a whole new train station sitting on top of all the others. That will complicate things immensely, but we got our rules. And hey, later on, if I find I don't like this temporary setup, well, we can get rid of it. That was our last major hurdle. Train is running and set up. That means we can complete the belts, organize all of the throughput numbers, and then bask in the beauty of 24,000 copper ingots turned into 4,000 copper powder. Truly a beautiful sight to behold. Or at least it would be if the system actually worked at all. Yep, it finally happened after all these hours of working on this copper powder project. We have our first major problem. These numbers are all supposed to read 1,000. And downstairs, monitoring all of the copper, we don't have a very pretty picture. So I built all of these throughput monitors to see what was going on, and a lot of these numbers aren't 750. They need to be 32 belts of 750 copper ingots each. Now, a lot of them are good, but a good chunk of them are struggling. Quite a good chunk of them. I think it's like 9 of the 32 belts work. Well, I know the problem. It's not a big secret. It's the water. It's always the water. It's always the fluids. Fluids are rascals. I even added in little fluid bouffers at the end of the system. You do this raised above like your input pipes so it prevents slooshing, but still some machines are not behaving. Why aren't they behaving? Which ones are yellow? Oh, I see you, Punk Buster. Watch this. We're gonna look inside. No sip. Wow, huge shocker. Oh, and let me guess. This is a system connected after the residuals. So remember earlier, we had a 600 pipe going into the system. These 16 refineries needed 400. So I was like, okay, at the end of the line then, we'll have 200 here and then 200 in the neighboring 16 system. Combine those together, this should be 400 fluids per minute, which is exactly what we need for another set of 16 refineries. But why does it not work? I don't know. It should just work. Wait, I'm freaking out over nothing. You know what solves almost every fluid issue? More pumps. Why? Well, it could be as little as this little bit of head lift ain't happening. Maybe we needed the pump to have all the fluids go up through that head lift. Oh, look, it's running properly. Oh, look, it's running properly. Oh, look, it's running properly? Wait, I thought like a bunch of these were yellow. Oh, here we go. Okay, look, it's not running at all. Well, maybe a little bit. Man, that's the worst part. It's like, is this normal production or did we just fix everything? Like, is this actually running on 6%? Do we just have to wait a couple hours for everything to like even out? Maybe I should just turn off the whole factory here and let all the water build up. Or we could just get rid of this pipe and bring over another 600 pipe to plug into here. Like, we have plenty of water. We actually have extra water. Why not? In fact, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna do. One thing that's confusing me though is why is this yellow? This system should have, or should need, sorry, 600 fluids per minute. This doesn't make any sense. It's, what? My brain's melting. 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 24 times 25, 600, like, it's math. It has to be a pump thing, right? Please don't do this to me, game. I thought we were gonna have like a clean, simple project. No silly problems. It's not a head lift problem down here. Then why is the pipe not going at 100%? Where's the water? Why is this running at 75%? It's just going into a pipe. That just doesn't make any sense. What do you mean? Is it the oh wait, it's the scorpion. See, that's all you gotta do. It's just gotta reconnect a couple pipes here, and then the 2 water extractors will work at 100%. It's just a simple little problem, right? It gotta be that, because it literally couldn't be anything else. 300 water per minute plus 300 water per minute into a pipe that can handle 600 water per minute means that this should be running at 100% because the end system over there needs 600 per minute, but it's running at 75 still, and we just fixed the system. It doesn't work. I've been working on refinery projects for months now. This should work. It's not like I haven't done this 100 times. Wait, what the? I threw my glasses across the room just now because why would this not be running at 100% when a refinery that is further down the system is running at 100%? What? It's one pipe, the pipe we're just looking at. It has 600 water per minute. It goes through all of this. It goes up here. The pumps, we already checked. They're fine. Goes through this whole area, goes to here. Then there's another pump that pumps more of the liquids up to this level. And then suddenly these machines are working at 100%. But the systems that the water is passing through are not working at all. Oh, actually at all is kind of better than a little bit, because maybe it is just a valve thing. But then how is any water in here at all? Presumably this wouldn't have any water in it at all, but there is water there. That doesn't make any sense. If we turn this off, hold up. Wait, no. Let's do that. Let's get rid of that. Does water go into here? Literally at all. So we have a 600 pipe going through 8 refineries. This thing should be fully loaded with water, like right freaking now. Why did it only get like a little sip? It's a 600 pipe into 8 machines. It only needs 200 water. This whole system should be overflowing with sip. There we go. Why does it stall at all? I don't understand the mysteries of the pipes. It's maybe some kind of like weird prioritization thing that's going on that I don't understand. But yeah, no, I don't need to care. We have an abundance of water. We're just gonna bring a whole new 600 pipe to enter this set of 8, and then this set of water. Guess what? It's gonna bypass all this nonsense. It's gonna go right over here. Then it's gonna scoot up this wall, and instead of going into this system, it'll hit this pump, and it will continue to feed the systems that decide to work today. See, sometimes it's just faster to fix a problem with a hammer instead of figuring out what's actually going wrong. And also, I just need this project to be done. In between the ore wrangling, biome paving, troubleshooting, and belt work, I think I've put over 100 hours just into this pit here. And now when we look at those throughput monitors, they're all gonna say 750. That means we're done, right? 749 counts as well. It's just the monitors not being able to do their job perfectly, but it looks like everything is good. Oh my gosh. Upstairs, when we follow all this to the constructors, the copper powder, big chillin', machines looking happy, monitors, ooh, telling me what I want to hear. All at practically 1,000 items per minute. That only leaves literally one more possible problem. But again, it's probably not happening. There's no way, probably not. Because when all this copper powder goes downstairs and into the train station, first I set it over through these load balancers. So they're two to three balancers, where 2 belts go into these splitters and are merged into 3 equal belts. So that way, we have the belts go into 3 bins for storage before they hit the trains, and then our 4 belts from upstairs can go into the 6 freight cars down here. And with this train running, we'll be able to see that the numbers are good. 668. Is that good? We have 4,000 divided by 6 cars. 666. Or 667-ish. Wait. That means this is working perfectly. If that's 668 per thing, we're done. Oh my gosh, I think we're done. 665, that's probably fine. Again, like the throughput monitors, not everything's perfect here. Fine. Okay. And on the other side, things should be okay as well. Oh, and the one victim here is I had to build some more water extractors up in this lake. It is what it is, though. Had to be done. Or it probably didn't have to be done, but my patience wouldn't allow for me to work on this project any longer. And back at the output zone, we're gonna look in here, and this has to be 666. We're done. It's over. I'm free. The pit is functionally complete. Definitely needs a significant amount of detailing, but that is absolutely a future Kibs problem. And for all of that work, it's time for our ultimate reward. Running the numbers. So we just processed 4,000 copper powder per minute, which is almost double all of the rest of the processing we've done already, and is about 1/3 of the entire project. And that brings us to 71% completion of Armageddon. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. The end is actually in sight. And the only biome left in the world with any copper is the dune desert over here, which is where we'll finish up the copper powder. But for now, that's gonna be all. So if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. But until then, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.